Just watched the James Degale versus Medina fight and also the Lucien Bute versus Badou Jack fight. I think hats off to Medina and Lucien Bute. They fought fantastic fights. I think it was a really, really good fight on both counts. And the James DeGale fight was really good. I think a lot of people booed. A lot of people thought that James DeGale shouldn't have won that fight, or it should have been a draw at the very least. I personally disagree. When I watched the fight, I personally gave James DeGale every round except the second, the sixth, the eighth, and the 11th. But other than that, I think James DeGale won that quite comfortably, actually. I mean, if you think about it, there was times where James DeGale, especially in the fifth round, he was up against the ropes and he was letting his hands down, and Medina was throwing shots and his hands were down and he was sort of ducking, moving, weaving, and he just seemed very confident. And especially in the ninth round, he boxed really well. He was, getting in with some great uppercuts, landing the better quality shots, using angles, and doing a lot better quality work. And you have to understand it's quality over quantity. So if you think about the punch stats, I think James DeGale threw 600 punches where Medina threw 1100 punches, but the quality of the work had to come from James DeGale, and I think that's what gave him the edge in this fight. I think he doesn't do himself any favors when he takes his foot off the gas. When I watched the fight, I thought that James DeGale wanted to make the fight more exciting, which is why he was letting Medina come forward. And I think, Medina was landing some great shots. He was coming forward and he did really well. But I just thought it was James DeGale, thinking to himself that Medina couldn't really hurt him. So he was allowing him to come forward and allowing him to get his shots off. But then what was happening in those rounds that I think James DeGale lost was he was allowing Medina to come forward and throw the shots. And then the last 40 seconds of the round or so, James DeGale would come back, land his own shots, and he looked more devastating. The shots looked more stinging. The shots looked harder. But I think it was too late by that time. I think that Medina had already won those rounds because he was allowing him to come forward and take those rounds early on. And I think that if James DeGale boxed from didn't take his foot off the gas and just kept the pressure on, I think it would have been a lot more convincing. So I definitely don't believe in any way, shape or form that James DeGale lost that fight. I think the quality of the work was a lot better from James DeGale, and he showed him levels at the end of the day. I think you see DeGale 2-3 levels above this Medina guy. But all props to Medina. He came to fight and he gave a very, very exciting and entertaining fight. So I thought that was brilliant. But James DeGale, I think, convincingly won that fight. And then James DeGale proved me wrong. I thought that he just wanted to make an exciting fight, which is why he was letting Medina come forward. But at the end of the fight, James DeGale openly admitted that he was very disappointed with his performance. And in the press conference before the fight, he thought that he was going to stop, this guy. And then obviously that wasn't the case. So he was very disappointed with his performance. And, he believed that, he's fought better caliber opponents and Medina shouldn't be going a full 12 rounds with the champion. But I think James DeGale has had better nights. I don't think he should beat himself up too much about that performance because I think he looked like the better fighter. Sure, Medina was coming forward. Sure, he was putting pressure on him. But James DeGale looked like the more skillful fighter, and he also looked like the fighter that landed the better shots. For Medina to win that fight, I think he should have done a lot more, he should have done a lot more if you want to take the title from the champion. I think you need to dominate the fight a bit more, and I don't think he done that. I think he showed heart by throwing a lot of punches and standing in front of DeGale and coming forward a lot. But I think DeGale showed his class, and that was the main difference in this fight. Let me know your comments in the section below. Moving on to the Lucien Bute Badou Jack fight. I thought that was really good, a fantastic fight. A lot of people said that Lucien Bute was finished when he got beaten by Carl Froch, but he's proven time and time again that he's still up there. He lost against James DeGale, and he made a fantastic account of himself. in this fight against Badou Jack. I think the first 6 rounds, I think Badou Jack dominated the fight. Well, not dominated, he nicked the early rounds, but I think the second part of the fight, I think that Lucien Bute fought really well, fought his heart out, and I think that's why they called it a draw. I had Badou Jack winning by 2 points, so it was very close. I just think Badou Jack had done enough in the early stages of the fight, but the reason why I think it was called a draw was because Bute was putting a lot more pressure on the second half of the fight, and he showed tremendous heart, and he was there and he was slugging it out, and it was a really exciting fight to watch. So full credit to Lucien Bute and Medina, but I think Badou Jack deserved to win the fight, and I thought James Degale deserved to win the fight. So there's a lot of mixed messages among the fans, but I think Badou Jack and James Degale should have won those fights. In terms of what's next, I think Callum Smith was mandatory for Badou Jack's title, but we're hearing that a unification bout is going to take place between Badou Jack and James Degale. Who wins that fight? I don't know. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think that James Degale on his day could just nick it. I think James Degale, if he was to come in at 100% and fight the full 12 rounds and not take his foot off the gas, which we've seen him do in recent times, I think James Degale should win a very close fight. And I also think that, Callum Smith against Degale or Badou Jack will also be very good fights. Let me know your thoughts and comments in the section below. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.